In this video, I'm going to show you all the details about how I motion palpate the upper cervical spine to determine where to adjust someone and how to get them better. This is the back of a person's head. This is what's called the occiput. And the first bone that you see in the actual neck is called the atlas. Second bone in the neck is the axis. The primary motion is thought to be rotation, so that's a good screening tool to learn how to motion palpate the upper cervical spine. They'll use their occiput to motion their spine, and what happens is it should look like this. The chin should go in a scooping motion like that. That is how I check the right occiput. The left occiput is like that. Now there are muscles, and the two primary muscles that you need to worry about are the rectus capitis posterior minor and the rectus capitis posterior major. Think of muscles as like rubber bands, and if you can imagine them being attached to the spine, as soon as you move the spine, if there's any type of misalignment, which means abnormal movement, these muscles will try to protect your body from moving in a way that's damaging to it. So one of the things we do is we analyze the motion, number one. Number two, we analyze how well the spine or the body is trying to protect itself from that motion. So the way to really assess the occiput is through that scooping motion, like that. The way to assess the atlas is if you flex the patient's head forward, it does put some strain on the musculature such that that muscular protective tightening will become very evident. And because the atlas rotates around the axis, we're going to use rotation as the screening tool. So you will see me drop down my finger onto the atlas, the back side of the atlas, and then I will rotate the patient's head to the left. And when I'm doing that, I'm really assessing the right facet joint between the atlas and the axis. And then I will go to the other side and rotate to the right, assessing the left side. Now the axis, the second bone in the neck, is actually assessed as it rotates or moves on the C3, the third cervical vertebrae. And because the facets are oriented at an angle like this, you cannot push straight in. You have to push at an angle. So as I rotate, I press and I motion in that direction. So now you're going to be able to be a fly on the wall and watch me analyze a patient, and I'll walk you through exactly what I'm doing. Now I'm going to show one that's not moving well. So we're going to go to the upper occiput, and where he gets pain is right in here. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So right in here is exactly where the muscle attachment is to the top of the skull. So we're going to start with the occiput. I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to place it on the occiput, and we're going to go in a sweeping motion just like that. So his occiput actually moves well on the left side. Then I'm going to go to the right side, and you could see visually and I could feel that there's good motion of that occiput. So now we're going to go down to the atlas. So I'm going to go to the side of the mastoid here. I'm going to place my finger on the atlas, which is the first cervical vertebrae, go to the back of it. We're going to tilt the head forward and then rotate. Now his rotation is not ideal, but from when it started, it was really locked up. So it just, what I feel at the end of my fingertip is, it's almost like opening a door with the hinge joint, and then the hinge just stops opening. It just stops, and it's a little sensitive. And then I could also feel the muscle in there trying to almost guard, and that's what I'm feeling. And then while I'm here on this left side, I'm going to go to C2, and again, C2, the facet joint goes up, so you'll see me pushing up, and we're going to check rotation, and that actually moves good. So we're going to worry about C1 on this side. Then I'm going to go to this side over here. So I'm going to go right where my thumb is, I'm going to go to the back side of the atlas, and then I'm going to drop the head forward and then rotate. And again, what I'm assessing for is does the joint actually keep going, or does it stop? And it kind of stops right there. And I could feel guarding more so on the left than the right. Did you feel any tightness when I did that?
The left is worse than the right.
He felt the left, which correlates with what I'm.
But it's way better than it used to be.
It's way better than it used to be. Yeah. So right there is C2. Now see on here, on C2, it just kind of stops. And I could feel it just doesn't want to go any farther. If I go farther, it's going to hurt him. So I'm not going to do that because I don't want to make it too sensitive. All right, so let's work on that. So we got a C1 on the left, C2 on the right. And so now we're going to do a test question. We'll see how much we remember from our anatomy days. What muscle am I on that I've been massaging all this time?
Oh,
You remember?
I don't know.
It's the upper trapezius.
Oh yeah.
Right where the upper trapezius comes to your skull. And then no one's ever going to know this stuff. Rectus capitis posterior major and rectus capitis posterior minor. Try saying that. Impossible. But those are the muscles that connect from C2 to C1 to the occiput. And so those are the main ones we're worried about. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to soften up that tissue prior to doing the adjustment. So if you ever end up on like the senior pro tour,
Yeah.
and you're famous, you know, you gotta say after you win the Masters, I want to thank my chiropractor who put my head on straight.
That's right. No more headaches.
No more headaches. Now, if you come in second place, don't mention me. No one wants to treat second place. How much do they get? I remember reading this of how much they actually make the Masters. How much they get for first place and how much they get for like 37th place and stuff.
They all make a lot. It's well over $1 million.
Yeah, I actually thought to myself, wow, even when you suck at golf, you still need to be really good.
Yeah.
To even get like 50th place. And even then you're still doing good financially.
Yeah.
But who wants to just make a ton of money? Well, who wants to make a ton of money to be bad?
It's relative, right? Bad compared to who? Yeah.
If it's golf,
Yeah.
who cares, right? I wouldn't mind being what's called the Lanterne Rouge in the Tour de France, where you get to race your bike around France, and basically they give a little award for the guy that finished last.
You got to do it.
You gotta, yeah. Actually, what age is the Masters?
The Masters is everything.
Yeah. No. What's the?
They don't have a senior Masters.
They don't?
No, not.
I thought they did.
I don't think for the Masters they have a senior event there.
Oh.
The other majors they have seniors for,
Okay.
like the PGA and the British
What is a
Open.
senior though?
55 or over for the golf.
55?
Yeah.
That's kind of young.
It might be 50. It's either 50 or 50.
It's not 50.
For this.
No way. I'm not going to be called a senior. Screw that.
They're good too.
I know they're good, but 50? 50 is the new
It might be
something.
50
I
for
don't know
the
if,
senior tour.
that really bugs me that they call 50 old. You know, when you're 18, 50 is old,
Yeah.
but
It's not so far
it's
away
not
now.
so. Yeah, well, I already passed it. Yeah. So don't just say it because it's on the camera, because if it's bad, I'll edit it out. How does it feel when I'm pressing? Because I'm pressing pretty hard on that.
Yeah, completely different than a
It's
month and a half ago.
Okay, so you're not just saying.
No, yeah,
okay.
no, a month and a half ago, to the touch, it was
Really
very sensitive. Yeah, I can barely, the higher you go up,
Mhm.
the more sensitive it is, but
Yeah.
it's not even hardly sensitive at all anymore.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust C2 first right here because I felt like when I was rotating you that it was more of a little more, it was sensitive on the left, but it was restricted more on the right, so I'm going to do the right side first. Okay? Here we go. And now the atlas. So the atlas, I mainly go lateral. It looks like I'm rotating, but I'm going to go more lateral here. Nice. Okay, now go ahead and sit up for me. And let's start with this side here. Let me see what C2 feels like. So again, I'm going to find the occiput, find C1, go down to C2, and now we're going to rotate. How'd that feel?
Fine.
Better? Okay, feels fine. Yeah, it feels like it's got better range of motion. One, I'm going to place my finger right there on the back side, tilt it forward, and then rotate. Okay, so it feels a little less to me like spasmy until I get to the end. So it goes farther and then it wants to kind of contract right there, but it feels good. All right, sir.
All right.
Done for today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you thought this video was interesting regarding upper cervical chiropractic analysis, then give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section below, and I will try to get to your questions. Thanks for watching.